entering college, what was college like for you? What was the most inspirational like animation moment you had in your college career or your college?
Well, I'll answer both questions. When I was in college, I was definitely just fucking around my first 2 years. Like, I would be bullshitting. I would walk to like class. Like, we'd have like 3-hour classes, and we had this cafeteria called the Lair, and I would just be in the Lair. Like, I'd be in art class. I'd be like, I'll be back and go to the bathroom, and I would just be in the Lair hanging out with everybody, and then I wouldn't do homework until like 2 in the morning. But something happened when I was applying. Either I filled out something wrong, and I was a fine art originally, so I spent my first couple like months trying to track down the animation professor to transfer to animation. And so then my second semester freshman year, I finally was an animation major, and I remember walking into Com 118, which was where the animation lab was, and Brian knows Jeremy Polgar. So Jeremy Polgar was like sitting in the corner, and this is like senior year, Jeremy Polgar just like drawing away, and on the wall it was like most of his artwork, and I was like blown away, and I just thought like, oh shit, that's how good you have to draw at 20. Like, I was like, all right, cool. And it's
Jeremy's an
like,
exception.
yeah, like I just thought that was because I had so little exposure to other artists that when I saw, it's like, you have to be like that at 20. Cool.
It's so
other artists,
discouraging when you see how talented some young people are, or like get that notion in your head that like, oh, I'll never be that good.
See, that was the thing. It was like other people, when I would talk about that moment with other classmates, they'd be like, man, when I saw that, they were like, I was freaking the fuck out. But I think because I was very much like, didn't have that much exposure, I just thought everything was kind of attainable. Like, oh, yeah, I can get there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah. No, like nobody could beat Jeremy. Like, that dude is like on a whole nother galaxy. You know?
We had
people
Felicia on the podcast. Yeah, we had Felicia on the podcast a few months ago too.
Also, like, really talented and such a lovable person. They're like perfect for each other, you know?
Yeah.
Things become a lot better in this industry, I think, when you accept the fact that there will always be someone better than you out there at whatever skill you currently are trying to master or have made into your profession. And it's much better to just like find the most the people who are better than you, and like be friends with them.
Brian,
and just like
friend, right?
hang around people who inspire you and like, you know, motivate you to do better and do more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's like a huge thing, is finding your niche and making the niche talented people who don't bog you down.
Yeah.
Jeremy was an overclassman. You were an underclassman to him, or were you guys in the same class?
I was a freshman and he was a senior that year.
Oh, okay. So he was like, I gotta aspire to that. So yeah, like I got 4 years around.
Yeah, and luckily, like, unfortunately and luckily for me, unfortunately he didn't finish the student film, but so he was there in the summer working on it, and I was working on campus in summer, so I was bugging Jeremy like a lot. I'm like he was like telling me how to draw like straight to curves, like all these things that were new to me. Like, it was just like, you know, I would draw something and he'd go over it, and it was like I was getting like lessons from him. So I've always given him credit as being like, yo, this dude definitely mentored me up until the point where I started working professionally, because I'd always bug Jeremy. I'd be like, oh, like, can you take a look at this? Or like, can you know, peek this and like give me some feedback on that. And even now to this day, sometimes I'll like, hey, can you check this out? How does this feel? Not as much as I used to when I was younger, but yeah, like definitely, yeah, like I said, luckily he didn't finish his film, so he was there to help me level up. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good experience, just like relying on your classmates. Yeah, because like I
mean, it's always a team effort, like animation or film. It's you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like group projects and like group work is a great way to like really elevate your game, because you get to see like, oh, this person's really good at designing, or this person's really good at, you know, editing or coloring, or, you know, all sorts of things, and then you sort of put it all together and you got something really nice. You know, it's not always the case. You know, some group projects, you know, typically in English classes go crazy wrong, but
well, that's what I try to do. I ran the like University Filmmakers Alliance, which was like the film club at University of Texas's film program, and because the way the film program was set up, like you mentioned, Nick, about how the school wouldn't let anyone touch the equipment that they had. They had a nice equipment room, well stocked with like film cameras and lighting equipment and all this professional gear, but you could only touch it if you were a senior and if you were in specific classes, or a junior or in specific classes. And I'm like, we have freshmen and sophomores and juniors who won't essentially get to be able to get their hands on equipment and work and learn until they're about ready to get out there. Like, we got to start teaching kids younger. And this was before YouTube and before you could just go on YouTube and like learn all this stuff. But you know, part of that was trying to assess, like, we would do a group film together, or try to every semester, and I would try to assess like who could do what best. And we ended up winning, like a group of us in the off season ended up winning a 48-hour film competition just based on like people I found in that little film club, and we were just a bunch of kids. But
that's dope.
Yeah.
Like, even with the maths experience, it's like, even if it wasn't a collaborative thing you guys were working on, it was simply like you asking questions to like, how do you do this, or what's the best way to approach this, and because we're artists, like most of it's just pen and paper and just like learning some techniques and then applying them.
Yeah,
doing what you can.
And obviously, he's still your friend to this day, right?
Yes,
that's the important part.
Yeah.
So reaching out to someone, you know, can be a good way to like make a lifelong friend. And you know, you're in school and you want, you know, you see a senior maybe doing a really cool project, and you want to bug them. Maybe that's a way, you know, to network when you're still in college.
Yeah,
that's it.
So you're in college. Let's go a little bit farther. So let's say you're close to graduating. I know Otis. I've been to Otis's portfolio show. I'm not sure if you guys have a portfolio show. No. Yeah, mine didn't have much either.
Yeah.
So did you do like a short film or like a thesis film, or what was your like?
Should I do the intro again, or are we good to go?
No.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Let's go. So there was an intro, and then there was about 45 seconds to a minute of awkwardness. That will serve as our musical intro today, just us rambling about nothing. And now, here we are.